We will be talking a little bit about DNA synthesis today. This is the second topic in the second biology topic in Science 30. The human genome has between 50,000 and 100,000 genes. Genes are defined as segments of DNA that encode for specific traits. It has more genes than bacterial cells and contains far more DNA per gene. It's a large amount of DNA that has to be replicated in each cell cycle. And then the DNA must be then packaged for later use. So it's a big cellular hassle. That's what we will be talking about today. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribose is a sugar that makes up the backbone of the DNA molecule. They added nucleic because it was initially found in the nucleus. However, we now know that DNA and RNA are found in other locations as well. The acid comes from the phosphates in the backbone of DNA, which cause DNA to become acidic or to be acidic. DNA is universal. It's the genetic code for all living cells, whether they are plant, animal, fungus, or bacteria, as well as viruses also contain DNA. There are several places DNA can be found within the cell. Nuclear DNA is found in the nucleus. This is found as long strands of chromatin that condense to become chromosomes. They're also found in mitochondrial DNA. If it's mitochondrial DNA, it's got the MT in front of it that stands for mitochondria. It's a circular chromosome. It's an ancient bacterial chromosome. Also, if you're talking about plants and other single-celled eukaryotes, chloroplasts also have DNA, so that's signified as cpDNA. Again, a circular chromosome that's thought to be a throwback from bacterial times. The fact that mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own DNA, scientists believe that this is evidence that these organelles were once independent prokaryotic cells that got engulfed by early eukaryotic cells. It's called the endosymbiont theory. Eukaryotic cells arose by one prokaryotic cell engulfing another. Because of their size and complexity, mitochondrial DNA and chloroplast DNA are used to study the evolutionary relationships between species. They don't really change all that much, so they can compare them. They are much smaller than nuclear DNA. All individuals' mitochondrial DNA are identical to their mothers because they get all their mitochondria from their mothers, not their fathers. Unlike nuclear DNA, which derives both from the mother and the father of an individual. Chromosomes control heredity. They are long threads of DNA that are wrapped around a bead of protein called a histone. So here are the loops of DNA. Here's the DNA, here's the string of DNA looped around these balls that are histones. When a cell is getting ready to divide, the chromatin coils up and forms thicker strands of chromosomes and later replicates to look like an X. So you can see the X down here. That's the chromosome. That's called chromatin. Chromatin is uncoiled and thread-like DNA. So DNA is found in the nucleus. Here's a DNA molecule. You'll see that it's a double helix, so it's a twisted ladder formation. DNA wrapped around a protein core forms a chromosome. Histones package the chromatin. They make it more condensed and they make it not so that it gets broken or tangled. So they sort of just act to organize and pack the DNA so that it saves space. So here's a picture of chromatin in the nucleus. It's just all tangled up, long threads. They haven't been condensed into chromosomes yet. DNA is found in chromatin and chromosomes. Chromosomes are DNA wrapped around a protein core. Chromatin are not DNA wrapped around a protein core. The only time that chromosomes look like X's are when they are being replicated. So here you have DNA replication occurring. There are 23 pairs of human chromosomes, or 46 chromosomes. You have 22 autosomal chromosomes, so 22 chromosomes that are not sex chromosomes, and one pair of chromosomes. You have 22 pairs of autosomes and one pair of sex chromosomes. If you're a female, you have 2 X chromosomes, and if you're a male, you have an XY chromosome. This person is an XY, so he's a male. So autosomes mean non-sex chromosomes, pairs 1 to 22. Sex chromosomes are 23. So a karyotype is a picture of these chromosomes in the DNA of a cell. Again, they contain the 22 autosomes and the sex chromosomes. They're colored because they've been stained to look at different areas of the DNA. The gender of this guy is XY, so he's a male. The 2 chromosomes that are paired together, you'll notice that the bands aren't exactly identical. So they're homologous chromosomes. Those are the pairs that have been replicated. You get 1 chromosome from mom and 1 chromosome from dad. So the human XY chromosomes, Y is smaller and not necessary for life. So if you don't have a Y chromosome, or somebody doesn't have a Y chromosome, it's not necessary for life. However, it is necessary for gender. So in order to be male, you have to have a Y chromosome. The 2 chromatids, or so half of this X, the 2 chromatids, or a replicated chromosome, are held together by the middle, called the centromere. Once this middle part splits apart, the pair of chromatids are called chromosomes. So if they're connected together, they're a chromatid. They're chromatids. If they're separated, they're called chromosomes. They're held together by a centromere, or a central point. Genes are small sections of the chromosomes or DNA that code for specific traits, such as eye color or hair color. DNA is the molecule of life. Trillions of cells. Your body has trillions of cells. Each cell in your body has 46 chromosomes, except for red blood cells, 2 meters of DNA, 3 billion DNA subunits, so these are the ATCG bases, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, and 80,000 genetic codes for proteins that perform all of the life functions in your body. Remember that genes are the parts of the DNA that make proteins. Each protein carries out a unique function and are coded for using one gene. So there's a gene for lactase, an enzyme that breaks down sugar. There's a gene for myosin, a mechanical protein involved in muscle contractions. There's a gene for collagen, which is a structural protein, and for hemoglobin, which is an oxygen transport protein.